back to business. Again, 44-24. The Cowboys now sit at 3-4-1 this season as their playoff hopes continue to slip. The Cowboys are plus 400 to reach the playoffs at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. And according to our ESPN analytics, they have only a 19% chance. Earlier this morning, my buddy Jerry Jones, my Southern brother, my Libra brother, he spoke on how he views the Cowboys moving on forward.
I'll do better, and I think that's the best way to say it. We didn't play well across the board for whatever the reason against Denver. It was a big game for us, disappointing.
Here we go. How much belief do you have in your Cowboys, Chris Canty?
Depends on how this game goes against the Arizona Cardinals, but I do think there's a path for the Dallas Cowboys to be able to get to the playoffs. There's a path for them to be able to compete for the division title. I will say this, I think Jerry is right when he says that they're not one player away from the defensive side of the ball, but they are going to get a player on the defensive side of the ball back in DeMarvion Overshown, who has now entered the window to return to practice. If you couple that with being able to add another pressure player at the trade deadline, then all of a sudden you have the ingredients for that defense under Matt Eberflus to take a jump in terms of improvement. And I'm not saying that they're going to be an elite unit. They just have to be not god-awful.
Middle of the road.
Because they have what is the best offense in the National Football League. And I get it, didn't cover themselves in glory on the road against the Denver Broncos, but every unit, every player is entitled to a bad day. Dak Prescott is playing outstanding football. He leads the league in QBR. He leads the league in completions. He's second in passing touchdowns. They have all of the elements, all of the ingredients on the opposite side of the ball. They just need to find some help on defense, and I do think that help is on the way. I think this is a lot of Jerry negotiating in the media because of the reports of the asking prices for defensive players at the trade deadline being sky high.
Go ahead, Jeff Sadler.
I see how the show is broken down now. Now I see why the whole thing got flipped on me the last segment. You know what I mean? You read the room, all this kind of stuff. You know, he must be on the same take as you are on. Let's build the Cowboys fans up. Let's let them feel really good about it. Really? I'm gonna go in and talk to all the fans. I'll be Southern Steve. I'm gonna bring all this in. Because let me tell you something. It ain't happening. They ain't going to the playoffs. All this hype about how good the Cowboys offense is, all this kind of stuff. Look, Dak is playing fantastic football, really efficient, really all that. They ain't won any big games. They ain't going to win any big games. They tied the Packers, which was a minor miracle, and who knows what kind of money was being passed behind. Don't lose this one, boys. Don't lose. Jerry to his locker. Don't lose this one, boys. Whatever we got to do. Cars for everybody. We're just not going to lose it. We're going to hang our hat. This is not a good. This defense is not good enough. Offenses cannot stay as hot as you need to stay for the Cowboys to stay in playoff bound. It does not happen. I don't care how good they are. It cannot happen. And so I feel bad for the Cowboys fans. I'm going to crush their dreams early. Y'all can keep pumping them up. Y'all can do all these things. But now I see you've got the CC pre-show.
Don't do that.
I respect it.
Keep hope alive.
I respect it.
Keep hope alive.
You know?
Keep hope alive. At least through Thanksgiving. Let's be nice.
They finally faced a good defense, and you saw it looked. It didn't, it's hard.
If that goal-to-go goes differently in the first quarter, then maybe the complexion of the game is a little bit different,
But again, you got to be perfect.
Yes.
Like there's literally no margin for error. Literally no margin.
Well, they're 3-4-1, and I said this earlier today with you guys. I'm just give you a little update.
Here we go.
3 in the NFC West, Green Bay and Detroit, Tampa and the Eagles. That's 7.
Yeah.
And the worst team out of those is San Francisco, and they're 5-3, and the Cowboys are 3-4-1. Plus, Dallas has to play at Detroit, Kansas City on Thanksgiving, the Eagles at home. They're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're not making it. I don't blame Dak. You're right. They're entitled to an off day. But one defensive guy, they're not getting Dick Butkus, okay? One defensive guy. Look him up, Jeff. You could never block him, I promise. They're not getting Dick Butkus here. So as a result, if you're Jerry Jones, you got to make believe that you're interested in improving the defense. But why would you trade draft picks to get a defensive lineman or get a Max Crosby, something along that ilk, when you're not going to get in? You got to look at the man. Steve, they're 3-4-1, and there's 7 good teams ahead of them, and they had the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Philadelphia Eagles to finish up.
I got to confess to y'all, I kind of felt a little different last week because I saw the Eagles struggling, And I said to myself, I didn't think they were going to lose to the Giants, but God forbid if they had lost and Dallas had somehow, some way gone to Denver and beaten Denver, then you know what? Their record would be different, obviously, and they'd be closer to the Philadelphia Eagles and could challenge for that. And maybe you go out there and you get yourself a defensive player, because with this offense, all you need is a middle-of-the-road defense. You don't need an elite defense to get to the postseason, and then anything could happen. But now that they've lost that game, and you're at 3-3-1, and the Eagles won, and they got such a decisive advantage against you, it might not be worth for them to do that. That's how I'm looking.
Well, hold on. Here's what I'll say about this. Guys, I think we're losing sight of the fact that you got Dak Prescott, and he's 32 years old, and this is a quarterback that has had some issues with injuries in the past. You can't afford to waste a prime year for a $60 million quarterback.
So what do you do, though?
A $60 million quarterback.
Okay, fine, I agree with you. But what do you do?
You cannot do that.
So you're not going to go get Myles Garrett, because that's a $100 million cap hit, right?
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it a Max Crosby? Is it a Trey Hendrickson? What do you go do? I'm asking.
I think you holler at the Miami Dolphins, because they're already out of it. See if they want to give you one of them pass rushers. Jalen Phillips would be the preference, because he's on the younger side between him and Bradley Chubb. You see if you can add that guy. You're going to get back to Marvion Overshown at some point, and that dude was an absolute stud in the second half of last year before he got hurt. You need pressure players in that defensive front, because that's what they're lacking. If you looked at Denver Broncos with Bo Nix, he was never threatened at any point in that game.
But that was what Jerry said was the strength. He said we can pass rush. No, bro. He let go. He let go of the player that you would need to help his back end in Micah Parsons. You can't go get somebody.
Which is where I was going.
Yeah.
With that being said, do we now reflect even more so on it? Looking at Dallas's offense, looking what they have collectively, looking over Sean being back eventually, and we say to ourselves, you really, really messed up.
Absolutely.
No.
Because I don't.
You don't feel that way?
I don't agree with that, because I don't think they should have paid Micah Parsons $47 million a year. I don't think they should have paid him. And I'm on the record saying this is not revisionist history. I said this way back in February.
Right.
I said that they should have traded Micah Parsons. I disagree with the timing of it. I don't disagree with the move. I don't need to be in the business of paying two guys quarterback money, not when I'm paying a wide receiver what I'm paying them, not when I'm paying my offensive line what I'm paying them, not when I'm playing those two corners what I'm paying them. The Dallas Cowboys have zero roster flexibility. They couldn't afford to pay Micah Parsons. So they needed to move on.
But they made errors going in. The problem is you tried to cover up the most glaring error with overpaying guys in the backfield, with overpaying the guys that you're talking about. So the issue for Jerry is when you have and I don't use this term, Micah Parsons is a freaking dude, man. Yep. Like he is a guy. You don't have me. There's 5 in our league, man. You know this. And you let one of them walk out of your building.
How about letting them walk out your building and stay within the damn same conference?
Yeah, man.
That's another thing. Go ahead, Doggy.
Well, again, when you're 3-4-1 and the other teams ahead of you only have 3 losses, and you have Detroit, why would you go out there and give up draft capital to bring in a big guy and pay him a fortune?
That you
You're not making the playoffs.
Doggy, nobody's saying they got to give up one of them first-round picks from Green Bay.
They got to give him
Nobody's saying that. I'm not saying that.
Well, there's nobody out there that's going to be as good. Like there's just nobody who's going to come. Even if you get Chubb, let's say they give up Chubb, and it's not going to make a big enough difference on your defensive side. It's just
well, will Max Crosby make a big enough difference?
I doubt it. I'm just being real. I don't think their defense.
There's nobody out there that you say would make that big of a difference.
The one, but he's in Green Bay. That's it. Yeah. I mean, for real. You can put him all over the field.
Or Myles Garrett, who you have no chance to get.
Yeah.
Moving on. Jordan Love put on a show versus the Steelers, but can he actually lead the Packers to the Super Bowl? We got someone jumping on the bandwagon.